Welcome to At the Vines, the podcast that brings you inside the world of the vines, a global community of adventurers, storytellers, wine lovers, and winemakers. Through unforgettable experiences in the world's most iconic wine regions, our members connect with place, culture, and each other in ways that are both personal and profound. Each episode will introduce you to fascinating people, our members, our team, winemakers, and friends we met along the way, and explore what inspires them to travel boldly, live fully, and craft wines that reflect their own unique stories. This week on At the Vines, I sit down with Zane and Mindy Holsher, two of our incredible vineyard owners and proud members of the Vines community. We talk about their journey from careers in the military and civil service to running a wine business with the Vines, a dream sparked over dinners during the pandemic and brought to life with their passion and grit. We also dive into the challenges of building a wine brand, the stories behind their playful wine labels, and the deep connections they've formed with the local community here in the Yucca Valley. Please enjoy this conversation with Zane and Mindy. Welcome, Zane and Mindy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And happy birthday.
Appreciate that.
This is what a great honor to have a podcast on your birthday.
What a great place to be on my birthday.
It is a good place to be for birthdays. I've spent many birthdays here at the Vines. So thank you for being here. And let's just dive right in. You can each start, but what was your first memorable experience with wine? And how did that kind of get you onto your wine journey?
I can start. I'd been a casual wine drinker for a long time, but we did a trip to Napa in probably about 2005 or something, and got to really taste some quality wines, probably more quality wines than I was drinking at that point in my life. And I think it kind of got a spark going in my brain. But I was working a ton for the military at that time, overseas a lot for places you can drink. So I really didn't get too involved into learning about wine until 2012, actually, when I stopped drinking beer. I switched to wine and got a lot more interested.
And the rest is history. But so that trip to Napa, this is interesting because it was the Napa trip that really inspired me as well. Was it the quality of wine? You're like, oh, wow, this is different than what I've been drinking? Or was it like the beauty of the place, or like what specific kind of oh, wow, this is something special?
I think really the quality of the wine, because I think to that point I really had been drinking not high quality wine, and I just wasn't interested because it wasn't good.
Right.
But once you drink good wine, you're ruined for life. It's like flying first class, you never want to be in economy again.
That is true.
It's a curse.
For me in Napa, it was the quality of the wine, but also I was very lucky to go with a friend of mine who knew a lot of people in Napa. So I met the people behind it, and that for me has always been the driver. It's like, I love great wines, but virtually most of my most favorite wines, it's because I know the winemaker. I've been to the place. I've been to Sesti. I've met, Dr. Ravana, or, whoever it is. It's just like the people behind it is really powerful. I know that certainly it has evolved for you guys in your wine journey. You've got great relationships with wine people all over the world. How about you, Mindy? How'd you get started?
I think that's exactly what you were just talking about. For me, I was not a wine drinker, casually. I wasn't living in DC and maturing with my wine drinks, but it was really when I met Zane. When we started dating, he came out to visit me. It was the first weekend that he played a whole weekend in Virginia wine country, which, may not be the best wines, but the experience of it, it was a whole weekend of just visiting the different vineyards and wineries, and just that was my first probably real experience. But it wasn't until what Zane said and what you were talking about when, we got involved in this during the lockdown of COVID. It was kind of what started our real wine journey, and just really wanting to explore better wines and learn more. And I think it was when we did that and then got involved with this process and then meeting people and just sharing it with other people. That's what became just really meaningful and made it more special and enjoyable.
That's pretty cool. So you all bought your vineyard here, started with the vineyard, and you've been on a number of global trips with us as well. Were you just like sitting home on the internet? I can't go out, so we got to figure out how to feed my passion.
That's not that far from the truth.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
We were, in Florida, we were in total lockdown, but for my job, they wanted us to limit contact. So we had a few friends that had escaped New York and had come to Florida. And we were having dinners at our house with them like 3-4 times a week. And we started doing...
You had a wine pod.
Yeah. So we started doing blind tastings, and we'd spend a day like researching wines from a certain region, and then we do blind tasting and everyone guess what wine it was, and it's super informal, but we actually got kind of curious about wines, and then I think Google figured out I was very interested in wines. I got interested looking at vineyard property in Europe mostly, and then the vines popped up, and we went down that path, and turned out great for us.
Now, you guys are selling some of your wine or a lot of your wine. Was it always a commercial venture, or you're like, if we can make it a commercial venture, then it can fund our hobby, or how did that part come out? I mean, I know you're entrepreneurial, both of you, and so I'm sure that like you probably don't do anything that doesn't have some kind of business aspect to it. But what about it was the vineyard? Was it always that idea?
Yeah, I don't think I never thought we would not sell wine.
I don't think I knew what level.
This is true.
Well, talk about that. How much wine are you producing and selling, and how's it going? It's not easy. It's easy to make wine. It's the selling part that's hard. But how you guys are working hard at it? How's it going?
That's true. And not that making wine is easy. The winemakers have a very hard job. Obviously, we're involved in the farming and the actual physical labor of making the wine.
I don't know. They're picking some grapes, doing a little pruning.
I did press some grapes today for my first time. But, we aren't involved in the physical part of it, but the art of selling wine or selling wine period is very difficult, especially in the United States, because of just the layers and layers of regulation. It's like selling wine in 50 countries for the 50 states in the United States. So it's been super challenging. It's been a learning experience. We also import some other producers, which we learned a lot from. So we are still evolving in the sales part. And we've just had our flagship wines, our vineyard wines, on the market since December. So just a few months in, but it's good. And it's something, the harder you work at, the more wine tastings you do, stuff like that, the more winey stuff.
And when you get out in front of people, when they taste them, I mean, what's the feedback been? Do they like the wines? They feel good about the price point? That's still early days, but how's it going so far?
The feedback's generally great. I think people are mostly shocked. They're like, "Hey, you have a vineyard in Argentina? What?" And it piques their curiosity. But as far as we were able to feature our 2021 wines this last harvest at an event, a local event that's rather large, and it was. I don't know. It was great because the feedback was
validation. We're not completely crazy. We may be crazy, but not in this case.
Oh, they put us, we're very blessed. They put us in a VIP tent with some very well-known wineries from California and around the United States. And, our 2021 vineyard wines, I think, stood shoulder to shoulder with some really great wines. And that was the feedback we got. And so those are the days where it's awesome to be making wine, awesome to be selling wine. We can talk about days it's not awesome, but that's what drives you when you get that really positive feedback and people are drinking your wine, and maybe they just don't have high expectations of the wine from Argentina. They might not be familiar with wines from Argentina, and then they taste something like this and they're just blown away. And it's always great when they put in an order for wine too.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've had that feedback from a lot of people. And I don't know, maybe we all just are going through this imposter syndrome, like we couldn't possibly be making really great wines. But when you try them head to head and against wines from Napa and other great parts of the world, the feedback is really, really solid. You all spend a lot of time and effort thinking about the labels, the packaging, and you've got at least 2 brands, right? Is it 2 or you have more?
Well, it is a longer story, but we have 3 brands at the moment. We're trimming down to 2. We had our name of our company is Vinub, V-I-N-U-B, so Vin for wine and then U-B for Uco Valley, which we're sitting in right now. So that's that was the name of our company. Unfortunately, we had a trademark issue with that name in Argentina, so we thought we couldn't use it on our label for a few years. We came up with some other names, Defenders, kind of to highlight my service in the military and kind of do a military theme type of the brand. And then we also did a survey among all our friends what we should name our wine. I think we had 30 names in there. And the one that won far and away the most votes was called Drunk Penguin.
I love that.
We didn't name our company Drunk Penguin, but we did do...
could have been appropriate.
It wouldn't have been. But we did do Drunk Penguin Rosé, and we did some of our premium wines when we first getting started as Drunk Penguin. Drunk Penguin will mostly sunset here over the next 2 years.
And then, it's very sad. Oh, no.
Some people are very sad about it.
We might need to figure out a way to keep that going.
There may be a Drunk Penguin anniversary edition someday. We will focus on our defenders as kind of our mid-range wines. So we're talking $20 to $40. Still great wines. Just maybe not the quality of grapes we're using in our vineyard wine, and maybe not the best wine making, new oak, stuff like that. And then Vineyard will be our flagship line of wines, and we're talking what we call here the vines ultra premium grapes, and the winemaking to match that. So some new oak, some second use oak, and really polished winemaking. 2 years in barrel, or 18 months to 24 months in barrel, 2 years in bottle before they go out. So that's kind of our overall plan, and as we're learning, that could change tomorrow, but that's our plan today.
What are the wines that you're making at the top level at the vineyard?
So right now for 2021, the ones that are released right now is our Grand Resort Malbec. So that's our ultra premium Malbec from our vineyard right over here. And then we have a wine called Memoir. It's our Bordeaux blend based on our Merlot grapes from here, and then a blend of 4 other grapes.
This is not for wine snobs or people who swirl their glass just so. The Vines is for anyone who thinks that travel should come with better food, better wine, and way better conversations. You'll meet chefs and winemakers and people you'll still be texting with months after the trip. Want to see what we're about? Head to @TheVines Winemakers on Instagram.
We were very fortunate. Last week we had an asado in your vineyard and tried some of the wines. Really, really beautiful. And you had a Cab Sauv also as well.
Yep, for 2022. This will be the time we tell everybody we'll be releasing the. No, it's great. They'll give them something to look forward to. You had the pleasure of.
It was really great. And there aren't that many Cab Sauvs here at the Vines, or really in Argentina, and I really liked it. I thought it was quite expressive. It was certainly a lighter profile than the other ones, but super drinkable and really beautiful.
And that's what we're learning about the Cab Sauv here is, a lot of people in the United States have this like Napa Cab Sauv in their brain that's a little heavier, much more extracted, sometimes a lot more oak. But Uco Valley is producing like a really elegant Cab Sauv, and I think we tasted that in 2022 the other night. It's coming on beautifully. We'll release that at the end of this year with our other 2022 wines. So we'll have 3 in the vineyard line then. And then if we, not to give anything away, if we fast forward to our 2025 wines, still will release in 2029. We have like 6 or 7 varietals.
Oh, wow.
We're incrementally increasing the number of varietals, not necessarily producing huge amounts of each, but to give like a little bit more variety to our varietals. So that when we do a tasting, we kind of have like, we can do a full dinner, all things like that.
Plus, when people get to know the style that you have, if they like your Bordeaux blend, they're probably going to like your Malbec. They're probably going to like your Cab Sauv because there's a through line for all of them. That's one of the things that's very difficult when you're making lots of different varietals, but trying to create a similar style. And I think you guys have done a really nice job of that. So one of the things we like to do is see if there's any dots between your wine life and your professional life. And so, Zane, you in particular, you're retired military, you're an active pilot. Any experiences or any learnings from that world that you bring to the winemaking?
Well, maybe on the lighter note, the bureaucracy of the United States government, but learned a lot about that in the military and how difficult things would be. And then if you're working at alcohol in the United States, you unfortunately you really learn the bureaucratic side of our government rules, regulations, and laws that are 100 years old that they're still applying to alcohol distribution today. So, that's kind of funny, but it's true. But then really it's perseverance. Like the wine business is not an easy business. You start in Argentina, you can't finance your land, so you start paying for your land in cash, and then you're investing really in your wine for about 4 years before it's released. So
yeah, the working capital is significant.
Yeah, you're investing a lot of money, and it's everything about it is not easy. Working in Argentina is a whole another experience that you guys are super familiar with, but it's a lot different than working in the United States. We've done some businesses in the United States, and having a business with the operations here, there's just a lot more challenges. The timing is different. So there's times that it's not super fun. So it's like knowing, okay, like we can work through these challenges and then we're going to be all right.
So the military wasn't always super fun?
No, but if you didn't lose a limb or die or get injured, it's gonna be okay. So if we're still kicking, we just continue on.
How about you, Mindy? What have you brought from your life and career to the?
Well, my background has been in civil service, but when I moved to Destin to join Zane, and then kind of had a break in that service, I found the opportunity to work for the Destin Charity Wine Auction Foundation, which I know you're familiar with. So that was shortly after we had bought the vineyard and gotten started with this. So that was just a unique experience to kind of see wine from a different side of things. Their mission obviously was to raise money for local children's charities, but through that I got to go on recruitment trips to Napa, kind of see what our clientele in our area, what they were interested in, and what their preferences were, and kind of how things work from a consumer standpoint, and that kind of thing. So it was really a great experience, and love being a part of that. So,
well, being a part, I think, is really an essential part of who you all are. I mean, we have over 350 owners, and I'd say that you all are as engaged as any of them, not only with our team and other owners, but also just the community. You've got friends here at the Vines. You've got friends here outside the Vines. You're very involved with the foundation as well. What about the Vines community and the Vines, like the broadly defined Mendoza community? What about it? Something clearly stuck with you. This wasn't just. It's not just business for you all, for sure.
No, we had some guests here this week. They just left, but they asked kind of the same question, and this has been just for, I'll talk for me personally, but just the whole environment of Argentina, the people of Argentina, has been the most pleasant surprise of this whole adventure. We bought the vineyard in 2020, like right after COVID started. We thought, by the end of 2020, we'll be down busy in our vineyard, picking grapes, whatever. Well, Argentina was closed until 2020, till the beginning of 2022. So our first trip here was in February 2022, at the first trip I ever bought a vineyard. So we didn't see the vineyard we bought until like our rosé had already been produced. We were tasting produced rosé before we saw the land. But we just slowly started meeting different people in the community. In Buenos Aires, we met a great couple that kind of introduced us some folks there. So we had built an amazing friend group in Buenos Aires. And then when I started importing wine here, I did a trip here that I just met wine producers for a whole week. Every day I met 2 or 3 wine producers and taste their wine. And to the person, everyone was wonderful. I don't have the capacity to import all their wines. I wish I did. But I made some great relationships there. And we still carry on those relationships today. And it's literally, we just run out of time to visit everybody while we're here. And I think we'll talk about the foundation a little bit, but that's something else that we're super, super passionate about. And one of probably our favorite thing about visiting.
I think we were lucky too that our first visit here was part of the owners conference. So that was our first experience diving into the vines and meeting other owners. And honestly, I think I was probably a little intimidated walking into it, just not knowing what to expect from everyone. But we had an amazing time. And we still, the friendships and the relationships we established just from fellow owners that we still talk to and are friends with just made it such an easy organization just to jump into and be a part of and just want to build on. So
I think actually our first exposure to vines was in Paso.
Was that before the owners experience?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
In the end of summer of 2021.
One of our first Vines Global trips, to Paso. That was a wild trip.
Yeah, that was. So I think we really got to know everybody there. People got to know us.
We'll leave that story out of the podcast.
Phenomenal side. Still have great friends in Paso. We just visited 2 Decembers ago. It's been a week with some of the winemakers we met there. So
I love Paso. Paso really reminds me of Argentina in that it's much more kind of rustic, much more open. You're, most of the time, I mean, there's obviously big kind of corporate wineries, but most of the wineries you go to, you're going to meet the winemaker, you're going to meet the owner, and it just, and if you don't meet them at their winery, you'll see them at night at LPC.
It's the most, it's such a welcoming community. I don't have
support each other.
Yeah, they're all, not all of them, they have a great integration there, and they're super welcome to bring along the small producer if they're a big producer and introduce them the stuff. And
they also seem kind of crazy. I mean, crazy in a good way, but they're all a little bit nuts in a good way, I think.
I think it is business. we're all a little nuts.
That's for sure in the wine business.
You know those trips where you just kind of feel like you're watching from the sidelines? That's not what we do at the Vines. With us, you're out in the vineyard, harvesting grapes, blending your own wine with amazing winemakers, and sitting down to these long, unforgettable dinners with people who feel like old friends. If that sounds like your kind of adventure, check us out on Instagram at The Vines Winemakers.
One of the questions I was gonna ask is, what are some of the kind of standout moments that you've had here at the Vines? For me, one of them was the dinner we had last week. But maybe talk about that or anything else that comes to mind.
Yeah, we've done 3 asados in our vineyard now with Siete Fuegos, like coming in and cooking. And as a vineyard owner, I don't know if there's anything better than sitting near your vineyard at sunset over the Andes, enjoying your wine with a beautifully cooked asado with friends and just sitting and BSing and having a great time. Like, that might be like my happy place.
It was pretty amazing. And just to give context, this wasn't like a dinner at the hotel. This was literally in the middle of the vineyard, in the road between 2 parts of your vineyard. And we sat out there and had empanadas and some beautiful salads and some entraña and some ojo de bife and great wines. And it was hilarious watching your friends. And you're like, yeah, this wine, that's coming from those grapes right there, 8 feet away. And we had one of the most beautiful sunsets.
Yeah. That's a great experience for me. I mean, it ties everything together. It ties the people here, the food, the wine. It's all, like together. And we say with our wine here on the back, with every pour, a story unfolds, and that never more true than when you're having an asado with somebody.
Yeah, I would say it's hard to top that. But just another noteworthy experience was our first blending session with Mariana. I think was just magical. We had the view of the Andes behind us, and we're trying our wines for the first time and our rosé, and
Plus a little nervous, right? You have that like sense of like, what am I doing here? And do I know? Can I have input at this at all? Or are I just gonna say, Mariana, do your worst?
And she's so wonderful, just guiding you through the process and making it so easy. And just that was a really, really wonderful day.
Yeah, really, if you think back to that day when we knew so little about making and blending wines, and then you taste this 2021 wine on the table here that we blended that day, and we're a little biased, but really excellent wine. Oh, it's pretty crazy.
So that was in what year was that first blending?
February of 22.
So 22. So now you've gone through 3 more cycles since then. How would you have rated yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in your first blending and your blending today?
It's totally different. I took some classes just so I could describe what I want in the wine to somebody like Mariana. Because I could, in my brain, I knew what I wanted the wine to taste like, but I didn't know the words to tell that to like the winemaker or the blending team. So for me, that education helped a ton. So now I can at least express like, hey, I want the wine to go this direction, and use the correct words instead of.
And that was like just like a tasting class, like in your palate, recognizing aromas and tastes, or what was the what were you learning?
Well, I went to Buenos Aires for a month and just spent like the morning in Spanish class and the afternoon in a one-on-one, basically like intro to wine class at one of the wine schools there. So
Fabulous.
Learned a lot about Argentinian wine, but then just also learned a little more formal structure to how to describe wine, taste wine, stuff like that.
And empanadas at night.
Yeah, I mean, the food scene in Buenos Aires is insane.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
You've been through blending a bunch of times now. How have you felt your experience or comfort level at doing it?
I'm not to the level I'd like to be. Zane's really dived in, and this is his passion, and he can really focus on it. I feel like there's still so much for me to learn, and I really want to hone in my palate a little bit better. So I'm not there yet, but.
But are you getting a sense, like as you go through the blending, are you feeling like now you're like, oh, I get it. I get why this is better with 5% of Syrah in it or 2% of that. Like if you feel your skills are going up.
100%. Yes.
We have a little bit different taste in wine. I mean, initially, I think we have a very different taste in wine. We might be getting a little bit closer these days, but we still have very different taste in wine. So getting both of us to agree, like say on our Bordeaux blend, not like the easiest thing. But when we do
relationship training,
we actually work pretty good together. We've had a few businesses together and we didn't kill each other. So I think we're good. But if we do agree on like a blend, I think it's the best blend. It appeals to like a couple different palates. So it's good. I think if it had the exact same taste in wine, we would make a wine probably that we loved, but it might not appeal to a super broad audience.
That's a great point, especially when you're selling it, because you need to be, you can't be a one trick pony kind of thing.
Yeah. Our wine's going to evolve every year, and I think it's going to get better. You taste the 3 years there in the vineyard, and you can see it. You can even see it evolving a little bit in those 3 years.
Well, you all are both very involved in your communities and philanthropic, and as you mentioned, you're one of your Defender's Wine benefits veterans, and you've become really involved in the foundation. And we have a lot of people that are involved on a financial level, and you guys are certainly very generous financially. But you're engaged on a much deeper level. Maybe talk a little bit about how that happened, why that happened, and your thoughts moving forward.
Yeah, we kind of traced it back the other day with the Carolyn. We saw the video we all produced for the foundation at the owners conference in 2022. I think it was the first kind of time you guys really put that out there. Could you correct me if I'm wrong? You guys really involved during the pandemic. And this was our your first owner conference since the pandemic. So we sat there and watched that video, and immediately I went to Cecilia and was like, hey, when can we go there? Like, meet the kids and like help out, do whatever.
At the time we were really focused almost exclusively on the community kitchens, and we were working with 6 of them in the community.
Yeah. So the next trip that we came down, that was the number one thing on our list to do, was to go to one of the kitchens, and we just wanted to help cook and see. It's amazing. It's an experience everyone should have. It's one thing to watch a video. It's one thing to read a brochure. It's a completely different thing to not only meet the kids, but meet these volunteers who are there cooking every single night for 50 or 60 kids. For people listening, to cook for 50 or 60 people, it's not a small undertaking. They're doing it every single night. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I think we're so blessed in what we get to do in our lives. And we walk outside and walk over to our vineyard, and we have these experiences. And so it's meaningful for us to be able to just understand the community a little bit better, to just be able to give back in whatever little way that we can do it, but to be hands-on and to meet the people. And, it's one thing to donate, but another to just meet and be a part of it and see it. And so it's just a really special place, and been such a great experience every time we've gone. And we love taking our friends to go and see it. And I think it's helped to it's let other people in the community know, because there's several winemakers that weren't aware that this was there. And now they want to be a part of it too. And it's just really special.
It's also been interesting because it has worked both ways, because you all go there and get to see what these amazing volunteers are doing, both for them, especially, but I think the kids as well, to see people from another country that are taking the time to be with them and get to know them and talk to them and cook for them, cook with them, I think is really powerful to them. If you're an 8-year-old in Vista Flores, and it's a little hard to see the world. It's a little hard to understand somebody that lives in Florida and comes down to visits, and you see them once or twice a year, and that somebody outside cares about them. I think that's going to really pay dividends long term.
Oh, and they were incredible. They had a dance prepared for us the other day, and just the way they greeted us and thanked us. So yeah, it was just such a great experience.
Yeah, and good. I think about 4 times, and now we're recognizing some of the kids. Obviously, we're getting close to the volunteers there. But so the last 2 times, I cooked a asado for the volunteers, and we cooked for the kids, so the volunteers didn't have to cook that night. But they're like, thank you. And I want to tell them, like, we're not doing this so you thank us. This is our way of saying thank you for doing this every single day. Like, we want you to just take the night off. Like, don't do the dishes. Just chill out, enjoy some asado wine. And like you said, we have a few winemakers that grew up here in the local community that now come and help us and bring their wines, and they're getting very involved.
It's fantastic. I love it. All right, well, let's go through a little bit of a lightning round. So if you 2 are stranded on a desert island, what wine and food would you want with you? What do you have to have?
I have to go first. What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I think we would take our wine. That's a cop out.
Sure. Which one though? You only had one.
Since I'm going to bring beef as my food, I'm going to bring the Malbec.
Nice.
Well, since you're going to have beef in the Malbec, I'll bring the eggs and the Bordeaux.
Oh, eggs in Bordeaux. I thought you were gonna go with pizza. So we might need marriage counseling.
If you could host a dinner with 4 guests, living or dead, no family, who would they be and what wine would you serve?
I'm not good at this game.
That's a whole different
Launch lightning round here.
Yeah. So who would it be and what wine would we serve?
Yeah.
Okay.
To facilitate a great conversation.
Yeah. So I think Leonardo da Vinci. So we're gonna have a wine from Tuscany. So like
Okay. I like it.
a really nice Sangiovese for him.
Nice.
I'll let you choose next guest.
Putting her on her spot on her birthday.
I know. I don't. You pick the guest list. You're good at this.
No. We're gonna go back and forth.
I know this
You can
could
edit
be
this out,
modular
make it
opinion,
faster.
but there's lots of questions, and I have to say Elon Musk.
Would be a hell of a guy to talk to at dinner, I'm sure.
I agree.
What wine do you think Elon would like?
Oh gosh.
He might not need any wine.
Yeah. I may not need it.
All right, so you got Leonardo da Vinci, you've got Elon Musk.
Oh, that's already shaping up to be kind of like a inventors thing. I think it would be like less inventor, more like a philosophical person.
Man, it's somebody fun.
Could be fun. Like,
We're not good at those different.
oh,
Come on, 2 other people. It doesn't have to be, somebody super serious. Just who would be fun to have?
Marilyn Monroe might be fun.
Marilyn Monroe would be fun. It'd be fun to watch her and Elon talk.
I think so too.
something.
Maybe add some rosé. She might like some rosé.
Oh, shoot, did I like drinking it rosé? I could see that.
We're gonna have to keep that going.
Yeah, I personally would like some figurative military leaders, but
Pick one. Who do you got?
like Churchill.
That'd be a hell of a dinner.
Dinner probably would be in the pork friend probably.
Oh,
So, and I love pork too. So
that's true. That sounds.
but that's quite the just odd pairing there.
I think you'd want to go a little odd if you're doing something like that.
I think so.
That was interesting conversations.
All right. Thank you all very much. If people want to try your really, really interesting and very high quality wines, how should they get in touch? Is Instagram, is our website? What's the best way to find out about your wines?
Yeah, on all the socials under Vinuv Wine or
VINUV?
VINUV Wine or just vinuv.com, VINUV.com.
Great.
You can order online there and we can ship to almost every state.
Well, cheers. Thank you all very, very much for your friendship and the good times we have had and the good times we will have. And we look forward to the next barbecue in the foundation at one of the Comodores or out in the vineyard.
No, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure.
My pleasure. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.